And it was just another day, yeah.
Just another day.
Until I went to the movies, and now it's a movie
another
Tuesday.
Just another
A movie
day.
Tuesday. Until a movie Tuesday.
Yellow. Welcome to Movie Chewsday. Movie Chewsday is where I watch a shitload of movies and I justify all that time watching said movies to come and tell you if they're worth watching or not. First off, let me apologize because I'm still sick, so there's gonna be some coughing still and raspy voices and all that. And I need to apologize for this guy because I'm on puppy watch and he likes to get into shit. So this this video will probably be filled with plenty of quick cuts of me where I have to get up and stop him from getting into shit. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We'll start with the movie news. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is getting reshoots. Now, if you remember the video last week, I explained how I don't like hearing about reshoots of movies because it kind of gets me nervous, makes me think something's going wrong. Now, in this case, they did the right thing by not really saying what the reshoots were. They just said it was something like really small and simple. So hopefully all is well. Just have to wait and see. But overall, still excited for the movie to come out. On the subject of Guardians of the Galaxy, apparently Deadpool or Fox and Marvel Studios swapped characters to use in their movies. So in Deadpool, I can't remember her name. It's like Negasonic Teenage Warhead or something like that. To use her, she was owned by Marvel Studios for movie rights, and Deadpool wanted to use her, of course. And then Marvel Studios wanted to use the character Ego for Guardians of the Galaxy. So they ended up swapping the rights for those characters. So now those characters, the teenage atomic chick was already in Deadpool, but the Ego character will now be in Guardians. So that's good news. That's good to hear. I like that the studios are starting to share now. You know, it kind of felt like there was some animosity between the different studios with the Marvel projects, but it seems like things are starting to come together. Everybody just wants to make money at the end of the day, so it's good that they finally decided to realize that. But what was I saying? Oh, so for the Ego character, so he's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, here's the tricky part of this video. This could be a spoiler. I don't think it is because James Gunn had said that it wasn't going to be like a big surprise. It wasn't going to be this big mystery throughout the movie on who this character was. But just in case people aren't really keeping up with the movie news, I'll just go ahead and say a spoiler warning right now. So just I'll put it in the description so you can know when to come back. I'll mark where the spoiler is and when you can like come back. So the character Ego is a planet, and he's Star-Lord's father, and that's kind of weird. But it also is a big revelation for me because it answers some questions like his mom dying. See, I was under the impression that Star-Lord's mom died from like cancer or something or just some terminal illness. But apparently, knowing about this Ego character being a fucking planet and being Star-Lord's dad, now I'm starting to think maybe she died from internal injuries that just couldn't be healed because she got banged out by a planet. I don't know. I feel like that would do a lot of damage to your insides. I don't know that much about Guardians of the Galaxy. I only know what I saw in the movie. I've read a couple comics after that, but I wouldn't say that I'm like well versed in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe. So, but either way, that's cool with the character swap. On to the next bit of news. Green Hornet is getting a reboot. The Green Hornet movie. Again, because apparently the Seth Rogen one was a reboot or something like that. I'm not sure. That's great, I guess. I'm gonna assume that people are just trying to keep this franchise alive just for the sake of Bruce Lee, because isn't that like one of the first projects that he did. I'm not sure, but I guess that's cool. I mean, I think the last thing we need is another superhero movie in the fray, but whatever, like whatever makes some money, you know, everybody wants to make money. So Green Hornet, cool. Apparently they said that the director's going to be Gavin O'Connor, who directed The Accountant, which is a movie that I actually want to see, but other than that, I never heard of this guy. And Sean O'Keefe will write the script. Never heard of that guy either. But they said that they want to make it more serious than the Seth Rogen movie was, because the Seth Rogen movie was kind of like goofy, like a goofy action movie, or comedic action movie, whatever you want to call it. So they want to make it more serious, like more in line with Batman. So I guess we'll see how that turns out. Staying on the subject of reboots, the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo sequel is greenlit again, or got its director apparently. This is good news and bad news. The good news being that the director is I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it right. Fede. It's either Fede. I'm gonna say Fede. Fede Alvarez. I know his work from Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. So those were two movies that I enjoyed for the most part. I really enjoyed the first movie of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So I'm hoping that he'll do a good job for this one. Judging by the movies I just named that he did previously, shouldn't be a problem there. The bad news is that they don't know if Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig are going to reprise their roles. And that sucks because I really would like them to return. I think the last time I heard about this movie, they were having like issues with how to pay Daniel Craig, because I can't remember if he like won some kind of award for James Bond, or it was just he got some kind of like pay raise for James Bond for what was it, like Skyfall or something. Either way, like I guess they were doing like some negotiations where he wanted to get paid more money for doing the sequel to Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And obviously that didn't really pan out as far as I know, but the fact that it's in question on whether he'll return, and even if Rooney Mara is going to return, that sucks. So hopefully everything works out for that movie and they come back, because otherwise they said they're just going to treat it like a reboot if they have to like recast everyone. And, you know, it's going to suck, man. It's just reboots galore. You know who did win an Academy Award, though, is my boy, Jackie Chan. So, congratulations to Jackie Chan. He got an Academy Award for Extraordinary Achievement. So, it's like one of those honorary ones that they give out. It's well deserved. Jackie Chan is he's a really good man, really good actor. He's a Renaissance man, you know, he does it all. Sings, acts, does stunts. Jackie Chan is like one of the first people, like martial artists, who like started doing movies that I like really got into. Like I grew up watching Bruce Lee with my siblings, but Bruce Lee didn't have the effect on me that Jackie Chan did for some reason. Like I watched a shitload of Bruce Lee movies, but then like one day one of my friends had me watch Rumble in the Bronx, and I was just like floored by what I was seeing, you know, because he was just like, dude, he's like, you gotta watch this movie. Starring this guy, his name is Jackie Chan. He's really good. He does like kung fu and shit, and he does like his own stunts. And I was like, huh, really? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like jumping off of buildings and everything, and flying through windows and stuff, and breaking his leg and all that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It was cool. Yeah, man, it's well deserved. Apparently, he's been making movies for over 50 years. Like, I looked up his filmography, and that man has made a shitload of movies. Like, he was in movies that I've seen that I didn't even know he was in. Like, I didn't know he was in Enter the Dragon. You know, I didn't know he was in Bruce Lee movies, period. He must have been, like, in the background somewhere. But that's crazy. My top 5 Jackie Chan movies would be Rumble in the Bronx, since that was like when I was introduced to him. So yeah, Rumble in the Bronx is still good. I like Mr. Nice Guy, Drunken Master. Who Am I? Who Am I is really, really good. And I'd say Super Cop. Super Cop 2. That was a good one because that introduced me to Michelle Yeoh. I love her as well. So yeah, man, congratulations to Jackie Chan. You're the man, dude. You know, you keep it up. Keep on getting those awards. In fact, I need to see more or his more recent stuff now to see like if he's kind of like expanded, because I know there was a time where I really wanted to see him play like a villain because he's always playing the good guy, and I wanted to see how he would do as a villain. And I remember him saying like, because I think somebody else asked him that in the interview, and he was like, no, he's like, I don't really want to play the villain because I don't want people to think I'm an asshole or whatever like that. So I like playing a nice guy. But I read like in his IMDb and stuff or filmography and everything that he was actually like trying to get out of that role now. So he's been doing like a lot more mature movies where like he plays bad guys or like people with drug problems and shit like that. So I need to check those out and see how his acting chops have improved, you know, because let's be honest, those earlier movies, like Jackie Chan was clearly a martial artist and stuntman first and an actor later. You know, I feel like he started taking acting a lot more seriously after Rush Hour, but that's just that's just my thoughts. I don't know that for sure. But so yeah, man, that'll do it for the movie news. Sorry. Let's get into trailers, shall we? I watched the Ghost in the Shell trailer. That's right. I watched a trailer. I watched a few trailers, actually. But I watched the Ghost in the Shell one. So I got this new rule now where I'll watch, like, the teaser trailer. Because that's pretty much what this was a teaser trailer. I mainly just need to check it out so I can get a feel for how the movie looked, what the tone was going to be. They started like maybe a few months ago where they were showing like little snippets of the movie, like little shorts, and it looked good, but I couldn't really judge like the overall movie. But this trailer, oh my god, man, this is a dope ass trailer. I'm telling you, like, golly, that was a good trailer. Shit. That music, that one song, what was that song called? I wrote it down. Enjoy the Silence. I guess it was a remix because like when it started playing it, I was like, I know this song, but this isn't how it's supposed to go, is it? And I looked it up, and apparently it is a remix by an artist named Key Theory. So yeah, man, that music score was perfect. As far as the movie, I'm excited for it. I wouldn't really consider myself a Ghost in the Shell fan. I've only seen the anime movie once, and I was like really young when I saw that movie. Like, that was the last movie I should have been watching in my younger days. But, the young me at that time, when it came to anime, was all about either had to have action or it had to have nudity. And if it was both, that was a jackpot. So when I look at the cover of Ghost in the Shell, and it's like this chick who's like pretty much naked and has a gun in her hand, and you look on the back of it, and they show her like in that little sneak suit where it looks like she's naked. I was like, hell yeah, I want to see this movie, right? And I don't remember much from it. I remember her floating in the water. She would always like float in the water to like go and think about life and shit like that. She did that, and then I remember this one battle in the movie, which I won't say because they didn't show it in the previews for the movie. So that could be a spoiler, so I don't want to give that away. But I remember that one battle she had in the movie. It was a pretty big battle. So anyone who's seen it and is a fan of it probably knows what I'm talking about. But I remember that, and I remember the movie being like really, really dry, really like philosophical. And like I said, the young me at the time just wants to see action, people getting shot up. And it has that, but it's more of like a philosophical movie. And I wasn't ready for that. So it might be a good idea for me to actually go back and watch it now since my tastes have matured. So I can like kind of compare the two time periods when I watched that movie. So I'll probably end up doing that. But this movie looks good, man. I know some people have problems with the casting with like Scarlett Johansson. I mean, I understand, dude. I get it. There's been projects where I haven't agreed with the casting as well. But not to the point where I'm going to get like super pissed off and rage out about it. Like, for example, I'm still not cool with Chris Evans being Captain America just because he was already Human Torch. And not to say that he isn't doing a good job as Captain America. It's just like, you know, there's got to be a shitload of actors in Hollywood. Why the hell are we using Chris Evans again, right? But at the end of the day, it comes down to two things with Hollywood, all right? Hollywood is broke, all right? Hollywood's broke financially and creatively. That's why they do so many reboots of movies. That's why they do so many remakes. That's why there's so many books being adapted into movies. That's why there's all these superhero movies now, because they're making money. And that's all Hollywood wants is money, because they're fucking broke, okay? I imagine Hollywood being that person where, like, they're in so much debt, but they just keep on spending like a shitload of money to keep up appearances because they don't want to like face the embarrassment and say that they're actually broke. But that's how I look at Hollywood. And really, like, that's pretty much like why I feel like they got Scarlett Johansson. But in her case, Scarlett Johansson is actually not only a safe choice, but it's actually a good choice too, because she really is a good actor. And she has that 1-2 punch of being a good actor and a bankable actor. Like, 9 times out of 10, you shoot her in a movie, like, she's going to act her ass off. She's going to play the part. She's going to be in that role. Like, she knows what she's doing. And she looks good for this part, so I'm all for it. But like I said, I'm not like a diehard Ghost in the Shell fan, so I can't really, like, share the passion that everybody else has, where they just get, like, super pissed and start writing petitions and accuse Hollywood of whitewashing and all that. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. Other than that, like, I can't wait for the movie to come out. It comes out in March, and now I'm going to start my elaborate dance of not watching any more of the previews, because believe you me, from here on out, they're just going to, like, throw previews at your face over and over. And it's going to be a new portion of the movie with every single fucking preview, to the point where they're going to ruin it. So it's going to be me a whole bunch of times just watching TV, and the preview comes on, I'll just be like, nope. I'll be like, nope. I'll be like this, and like that. That's my dance. That's my dance when the preview comes on. I don't want to see it. I'll be like, be watching this show, be like, oh man, The Walking Dead, man. Oh, Negan's so crazy. Oh, there's Ghost in the Shell. I don't want to see anymore. So, you know, shit like that. The other preview that I watched was Allied. Now, definitely going to go see this movie. It's actually coming out pretty soon. I think it comes out next week. Definitely got to go see this, because my boy Brad Pitt's in it. And if anybody knows me, they know that I love me some Brad Pitt. And the movie actually looks pretty good too. Basically, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Allied it's like him and this girl who is played by Marion Cotillard. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But apparently they're like soldiers, or I'm going to say they're soldiers. They're either soldiers or freedom fighters or whatever like that. Maybe he's a soldier and she's a freedom fighter, but whatever. Like, they're in like the middle of some kind of battle, and they end up like linking up and fighting together. But then eventually, like, they fall in love with each other, get married, have a kid, you know, start living their life and everything. And Brad Pitt gets called into the office, and his superiors are like, yo, we got reason to believe that your wife is a German spy. So Brad Pitt's like, that's bullshit. Hey, stop it. So Brad Pitt's like, nah, dude, that's bullshit. That ain't gonna happen. Okay? Like, she's not a spy. And they're like, well, we got intelligence saying that she is. You're welcome to, like, do a little investigation. We'll give you a little time, because this is a hard decision to make, because obviously we want you to, like, take her out. But we'll give you some time, but not too much time. So basically it's just about him, like, trying to figure out if she's actually a German spy or not, without her knowing that he knows that they may know that she's a German spy. Something like that. So it looks interesting. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction right now, though, and I'm just going to say it's going to end up being a twist where Brad Pitt's the German spy. That's what I think is going to happen. In fact, I'll sweeten the pot. Not only will he end up being a German spy, he's going to be the German spy where they need like a code word or a phrase or whatever to like activate them. So like he's just like completely just doesn't like he's aloof on what the hell is happening. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. But as soon as like this phrase is spoken or whatever, or something's done, like he just snaps and he just goes into Terminator mode. Like I feel like it's gonna be something like that. But either way, movie looks good. I'm gonna go check it out. Probably be talking about it next week on the next Movie Chewsday. Speaking of movies, let's get to the movies now, shall we? Enough of this news and trailer talk. So, I watched this movie. I got these movies, okay? So here's the story. I got to go on a little walk here. So, there's these horror movies, right? And they're in a set. It's 8 of them. And the set, like the box set, is called 8 Films to Die For. My friend owned these movies for years now. Because I think they were made like back in 2005 or some shit. So he had these movies and he was getting rid of them. So he hits me up and he's like, yo, I'm about to get rid of these movies unless you want them. They're like old horror movies that I don't want anymore. So I'm like, you idiot. Why would you get rid of movies? You don't get rid of movies, okay? You keep them forever. You put them in a box. And he's like, they're going in the garbage unless you want them. But let me know now. And I was like, give them to me. Give me the movies, right? So he gave me the movies. And, you know, he was like kind of like giving me the synopsis on them a little bit. And he was like, he's like, there are all these different types of horror movies that they picked out. And they're supposed to be like really good, but not all of them are good. There's some that are like pretty decent, stuff like that. And I was just like, are they like B horror movies? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, that's understandable. You know, that's a question you got to ask when it comes to horror because, you know, there are bad horror movies, but then there are like bad horror movies that are supposed to be bad, which is like the B horror movies, which I'm pretty sure is what the B stands for in horror movies. If I had to guess, I'm pretty sure that's how I got that moniker. But he gave them to me. And I started watching them. I've only watched 3 so far. The first one that I watched was Nightmare Man. Nightmare Man. Don't let the title fool you. This movie was actually pretty good. It was entertaining, I'll say. All right? So the general synopsis is like this chick gets this mask and it's supposed to like help her husband who's having like you know, fertility problems, you know, sexual and everything, you know, can't get up, noodle shit. Why this mask would help, I don't know why. It was a god-awful mask. Why it would help, I don't know. But apparently it's like a weird mask where that belongs to the Nightmare Man. And she ends up like being tormented by the Nightmare Man, like fucking with her and shit, right? And so the husband doesn't believe her. So she's like freaking out. The husband doesn't believe her. He thinks she's crazy. So he pretty much commits her to a psych ward. On the way to the psych ward, their car runs out of gas. So they got to pull over to the side of the road. They do the classic, I'm going to go walk to the nearest gas station. I'll be back. You stay here, you know. And so that happens. And naturally, the Nightmare Man shows up and starts fucking with her in the woods, right? Sorry. So Nightmare Man shows up and starts fucking with her in the woods. So eventually she stumbles upon this house that's inhabited by these people where they're like just playing games and everything. And they hear her like screaming for dear life outside, so they like go and help her. And then the movie just turns into like this whole like home invasion thing where they're trying to like defend their home from the Nightmare Man coming in and killing everybody. That's the general synopsis of the movie. Like I said, I thought the movie was actually pretty good. It was entertaining, okay? Like it's got bad acting. I mean I wouldn't say bad acting, but the acting is like it's kind of like just below par. You know, there's some lines that just get delivered that just kind of like seem a little tacked on and not believable. But what I liked about the movie was, first of all, they had like really good scare tactics in it where, you know, like how horror movies nowadays just rely so much on jump scares, and they're like not even clever jump scares. They're like cheap jump scares, right? And this movie has some jump scares, but there's like a couple of them that are set up where they're actually like pretty clever how they're done. So I really appreciated that. I also liked how they took like average or pretty like run of the mill horror tropes and kind of like turned them on their head. So I enjoyed that. So like how when the girl is normally running from the killer and they trip over a thin piece of air and they fall down and the killer like catches up and kills them and stuff right then and there. So like part of that happens where like she does trip over nothing and the killer does catch up to her, but then like as he's trying to kill her, she like fends him off, and kicks him in the balls and runs away and everything. So like I enjoyed that. They had like the slutty chick in the movie, and normally the slutty chick dies either during sex or right after having sex. But this slutty chick ends up like being one of the smartest characters in the damn movie. And it's pretty much like the only character that I was worried about in the movie. So that was what I liked about it. It was cool. They had a pretty good use of practical effects. I mean, sometimes it comes off where they look like a character out of a Lord of the Rings movie, or not even Lord of the Rings. I would say like sometimes it looked like a monster out of a Power Rangers episode. But other than that, like the practical effects were actually pretty good. There were some pretty gruesome kill scenes that they had. So overall, dude, like I said, I liked it. It was pretty entertaining. That's a movie that I would actually watch again when October comes back around. Like that's a movie I'll put in and watch again just for shits and giggles. The next one that I watched was called Tooth and Nail. Now, this movie I didn't really care for just because it was really dry, like it was really like dour, and I guess that kind of like played with the setting. Because the setting of the movie was the only part that I really appreciated. And generally the synopsis of this movie is, so it takes place in a post-apocalyptic time period where I guess the world runs out of gas. So apparently like gas powers a lot of shit. Enough to where when it runs out, like society just like crumbles. So, it takes place in this hospital where there's like a group of survivors, and they're just kind of like doing like daily task of, trying to like filter water, and, they send out scout parties to go get food and supplies and stuff. And they're just trying to survive. Well, one scout party goes out and they end up coming across these people where one dude is on the ground dead. There's a guy standing over him. And then there's another girl who's like injured off to the side. So the scout party scares off the guy, the big guy who was like standing over the dead dude. They scare him off, and they end up going to help the girl. So they bring the girl back to the hospital, and she starts explaining to him like, yeah, like me and my boyfriend were just out like looking for food, and this dude like attacked us and killed my boyfriend, and he was about to kill me until you guys stepped in. So thanks. And they're just like, well, who is he? And she was like, I'm pretty sure they're cannibals, because they were pretty much like, I've heard about these guys where they go out and snatch people and eat them, right? So naturally, the big dude that they scared away must have like trailed them back to the hospital. Sorry. He must have trailed them back to the hospital, because he ends up coming to the hospital with all of his like cannibal buddies. So the movie is just them breaking into the hospital every night to like snatch people up and kill them and take them back and eat them. That's the general basis of the movie. And I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it was that great of a movie. The acting was okay. It was better than the acting in Nightmare Man, but still not like high caliber, at least not on everybody's part. There's like some people that kind of like deliver a lot more than others. But the whole premise of it, like it was a good idea. I just didn't think it was really executed well. Like it was generally like them just going in the hospital, like I said, and just snatching people and taking them out. And it was like every fucking night. So you would think that the people in the hospital would be smart enough to be like, well, let's just start setting traps for these motherfuckers and kill them, or at least like scare them off so they'll stop messing with us, you know? But no, their idea is, well, we're just gonna hide in the hospital. We'll just hide out, you know, like we'll hide and they can't find us and then they'll leave. And it's like, motherfucker, they know you're in the damn hospital. Like, how long can you hide before they just like burn the whole damn place down and have you come running out? So that was another thing that I didn't really care for. Like, the majority of the characters were stupid as fuck in that movie. So, but yeah, it's just, it wasn't that great. It was more of a torture porn type of movie than a horror movie. But, you know, there's some, like, death scenes in it that were, I guess the idea of them was gruesome because a lot of times the death scenes happen, like, kind of off camera, you know? And, my guess is that a lot of the budget went into trying to build up the setting of the movie because, like I said, it's post-apocalyptic, so there's a lot of, like, deserted towns. Like, there's a lot of shots where there are towns and streets deserted, which is why I like that setting, obviously. But other than that, just not that great of a movie. So yeah. The third movie that I watched was Lake Dead. Sorry. Lake Dead. I watched. This was probably like the most average horror movie of the three that I watched. Like, it was pretty much like a poor man's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The premise of this movie is that there's this guy who owns this motel out in the middle of nowhere. He ends up dying, and he has it or his his grandchildren inherit it. So there's these three sisters who inherit the motel, and they're pretty much like, well, you know, I don't know anything about running a motel, so let's just go there and check it out, and if it's up to snuff, like, we'll just sell it off, right? So they all get together, they bring their boyfriends and shit like that to go and check the place out. And when they get there, there's like these two like deformed, like big deformed dudes running around killing them off like one by one. And that's generally like the basis of the movie. I didn't really care for it just because the acting really wasn't there. Like, this, like, out of the three movies, this movie probably like had the worst acting of the bunch. Like, there was just a lot of characters that just weren't believable. They were like way too cliche. Like, every horror trope you could think of, they pretty much did in this movie. Like, I feel like the only way I would watch this movie again is if, like, I was doing a drinking game with my buddies and we were just like, oh, you know, like, you have to take a drink if they fucking start fucking, you know? And I feel like you'd be flat drunk under the table if you did that, because this movie, like, just follows it down to a T. So yeah, I didn't really care for it. The story was meh. You know, like I said, I'd rather just watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The kill scenes were actually really good. Like, there's a good use of like practical and like special effects that I liked that were done. I really enjoyed that. The only problem though was there was a lot of like unnecessary rape going on in the movie. Like, there was people dying and getting raped, or like they would be on the verge of dying, but they get raped first and then get killed. So I didn't really appreciate that. It was a really big rapey vibe. Like, there was times where I'm watching people just getting like killed off, and I'm just like, yeah, all right. And then they end up getting raped, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, where the hell did that come from? You know? So I just kind of felt like it was unnecessary. The other problem I had with the movie too is that the title of the movie is false advertisement. You know, when I see a movie titled Lake Dead, I'm thinking that there's going to be like either zombies coming out of the lake, or there's going to be a lake filled with dead bodies, you know? But it was really like only one person in the fucking lake that was dead. And I was just like, really? That's what we're doing? We're calling it Lake Dead because of one person dead in the lake? Like, come on now. But but other than that, like, you know, the movie just wasn't that great. Like I said, the only way I watch it again is if I was playing like a little drinking game or some shit. But I'd pass on it. But out of those three, I would recommend watching Nightmare Man. I don't know how you're gonna watch it. I don't recommend you buy it. I didn't buy the damn movie. I got it for free. Or did I? But I mean, when you think about it, time isn't free. It's actually pretty expensive. But yeah, man. Out of all those, I recommend Nightmare Man. So if you ever see it in the video store or at the Red Box, or maybe if it's in the bargain bin for like $5, I'd say spend the $5 and check it out. I'm sure you got $5. Okay, put the fucking fries down from McDonald's and just go and buy Nightmare Man and check it out for $5. I don't think fries cost $5, but you get what I'm saying, all right? Damn. Now, let's get to what I saw in theaters. I went to go see Arrival, starring Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forrest Whitaker. These are the only people that I recognize in that movie. So the movie was directed, and I'm gonna pronounce. Man, these people with these names, I swear. I'm gonna say it's Denise Deljeva. I'm gonna say Denise Veneve. I'm gonna say Veneve. Denise Veneve. We're gonna go with that. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry. But you may know him from the movie Sicario. And I actually did a movie Chewsday about Sicario, and I liked it a lot. This movie, I liked. It was good. I would recommend that you go see it. Is it perfect? No, it is not. But it's still worth going to see. And I'm going to tell you why. So basically, the movie is an alien invasion movie. Aliens come to Earth, and I think it's like 12 of them or something. So aliens come to Earth, and they're all spread out around the globe, and they kind of position themselves over like a lot of the landmarks. So there's like one over the White House. There's another one that I think is over the Empire State Building or something. So they're kind of like spread out all over. And this one dude who ends up like hacking the system finds like the signal, and he realizes in the signal that there's like a clock that's counting down. So then he's got to like race to the president with his dad to like warn him about this clock, because he thinks that there's an attack that's going to happen from the alien. I'm kidding. I'm joking, okay? That's not what it's about. Oh, man, I'm not even going to say what the fuck I was talking about. I'll see if anybody gets it. But aliens do come to Earth. And they spread out around the globe. There's like 12 of them. And the movie takes place in the U.S., mainly in Montana. Why Montana? No, they do explain it. That was one of the good things about the movie, was like there was a lot of questions to it, but a lot of the questions that the movie like raises and shoots out at you, they get answered. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So the movie takes place in Montana. So basically, like, the aliens land, and they open their doors to their ship like every 18 hours. So when they had first landed, the military went in and they actually like made contact with them, but they couldn't understand what they were saying. They didn't understand the language. So they go and get Amy Adams' character, who's like a specialist with language. She's a linguist or whatever. They go and get her for her help to like help them translate what the aliens are saying, because they're trying to figure out what they want and why they're there. So they end up bringing her in, and the movie is just about her it's about her and everybody across the world trying to decipher the alien language so they can communicate with them. And that was what I liked about the movie. Is it's really heady. So if you think about like the movie Contact with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey, it's like in that kind of realm where it's very like philosophical. It's not about like, aliens coming down and spreading out over the White House and blowing shit up, So like if you're going in thinking of it's gonna be like this big blockbuster action romp, like I'll just go ahead and warn you right now, it's more of like a heady movie that gets you thinking after you get out of it. Like even today, I'm still thinking about what all happened in the movie. But I liked it, dude. It was good. The guy Denise, who I'm just gonna call him Denise, the guy who directed it really has a thing for like scenery. Like his scenery shots are just spectacular. Like he did that in Sicario. He does the same thing here. Like I was looking at a lot of that scenery and I was like, damn, kind of want to go out to Montana, It looks a little peaceful out there, But so he does that. So that was cool with the camera work. It blended really well with the special effects, like props to the cinematographer to like kind of blend all that together, because I like special effects, like digital special effects where it looks real. It looks practical. Like I look at it and it looks believable. And they did a really good job with the effects in this movie. The acting is really good. Amy Adams is a really good actor. She always impresses me. As long as she's not playing Lois Lane, I really enjoy watching her on screen. What else can I say about that movie? Pretty much hit all the things. Basically, like what I'll save the overall stuff for the end so I can leave on a good note, because now we gotta get into the bad shit. So like I said before, the movie's good. It's just not perfect. And by not perfect, it gets tricky to kind of tell you why it's not perfect because it'll spoil the movie. So I'll just say that there are some events in the movie that I felt were rushed. There's one event in the movie that is like they do a really good job at like setting it up and explaining it and progressing it through the movie. But I feel like right before the third act, I feel like the filmmakers like were watching the movie and they were like, Jesus Christ, like, we're about like 2 hours in and we still haven't fucking got to the revelation of this event. Like, let's speed this shit up, right? So I feel like they rushed this one event to where they spent like a good portion of the movie like really explaining things, but then decided to kind of rush it along and just kind of like make you interpret it as, oh, okay, like, yeah, I'll believe this is happening right now. So I didn't care for that. There was another event that happened in the movie where it's mentioned, and it's a pretty big event. It's like the event that pretty much explains what the fuck is happening in the movie, and it kind of gets brushed over in the end. Like the movie ends and I'm just like, well, wait, what about this one thing? Like we never figured out this one thing that inspired like this whole situation. Like what the fuck, So I did not care for that. There is one more event that happens. It really sounds like I fucking hated this movie, but I guarantee you, like, when you see the movie, hit me up and ask me what the fuck I was talking about, and we'll see if they match up. But this is the things that I just had a problem with. There's another event in the movie that I feel like is not fully explained. Like they explain it, but then there's like things that happen where it's like it makes another question happen where I'm just like, well, does this mean that this can happen now or what? So I'm sorry that I had to be so vague, but I'm really a stickler for spoilers, okay? So you're just gonna have to work with me. But honestly, at the end of the day, I would say just go see the movie and interpret it for yourself. I thought it was really good just because overall, I like the overall message of the movie. And the overall message of the movie is that we need to work on our communication. We're living in a day and age where we can talk to people halfway across the world, and deal with a different culture halfway across the world while we're sitting in our own like cultural bubble, and there's things that we can say that may offend someone on that end of the globe, and there's things that they can say that may offend us or that we may not understand on our end of the globe. And I feel like the movie touches on that a lot. And I really liked it. I like the overall message that they were trying to like really give out to the world. It really is a social commentary to what the hell is happening nowadays. It actually made me think about too, with this little shit over here that I gotta take care of, where there's things that I try and teach him that I have to be careful of what I teach him, because I don't want him to get the wrong idea of what I'm trying to get him to do or what I'm trying to get him to like behave like, you know what I mean? So the movie really hit home for me in that aspect. So like I said, I recommend going to see the movie. I thought it was good. But like I said, if you're trying to go in there for like an action-packed, guns blazing type of movie, like this ain't that type of movie. So, save yourself the trouble. But maybe just go and check it out anyway to kind of expand your palate, just like how I'm gonna do when I watch Ghost in the Shell again, so I can, since my palate has been expanded, I want to see like if I can jive with that movie now, because like when I was younger, wasn't really feeling it. Nowadays, might end up liking it. So that's about it, man. My little puppy's getting a little crazy, so it's gonna be time for me to sign off. So with that, I bid you adieu. You can reach me on Twitter at the Chewels, Instagram at ChewVision. You can email me, chewels85@gmail.com. That's going to be about it. You all take it easy. Be nice to each other. That was Movie Chewsday. Now, it's just another day.
And it was just another day, yeah.
Just another day.
Until I went to the movies, now it's a movie Tuesday.
Just another
A
day.
movie Tuesday. Until a movie Tuesday.